Carrie with Canary Quilts, and welcome to the first installment of the Midnight Moon Halloween quilt along. This is a quilt along being put on by Moda Fabrics, and it's using the Midnight Magic 2 fabrics and the Summer Moon pattern by Carrie Nelson. So I have links to all of this stuff down below if you like what you see. Because I love it. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. There's a ton of blocks in there. And the Moda Fabrics is doing this, and they're doing 2 blocks a week, and I got started a little late, so I've got the first 4 blocks here, but I'm just going to be like journaling my 2 blocks each week. So I wanted to go through and show you what I've done so far. We've done an album block, which I've never done before. We've got a churn dash block, which I did just a few weeks ago in a little table runner that I showed you. A fool's puzzle, never heard of that block either, and that was an interesting block to put together. And then a capital T block, which I have never put together, and that looks really cool in the camera. I like looking at that through the camera. So what you do is you're going to put together 3 different sizes of these blocks. So like this block, here's the large size, that's the small size, medium size, and that's the small size. So you're going to have all 3 sizes of these blocks in your quilt when you get down to the end. This quilt will be, I think, 70 inches when it's done. It's a fairly large quilt. I don't remember, but anyway, I don't care because it's going to look cool anyway, so I don't care how big it is. And then, as you can see, the medium and small blocks are going to have these extra little borders. I kind of like sashings added onto the blocks also. So we haven't gotten to that. That's going to be at the end. But there's going to be 2 blocks per week that they're going to be doing. And they kind of give you tips and tricks for putting the blocks together. And then I'm going to show you kind of how I put them together also in the video. So, like I said, the links for the fabrics are down below. The link for the pattern is down below. My mom loves this pattern. She doesn't want to do it in Halloween, so she may get the fabrics that are shown here. And there's a dark version of this also, like blues and greens. It's really pretty. So, to get started, I'm going to start this way. I'm going to start with the album block, churn dash, fool's puzzle, and then capital T, and I'll show you how I put these together. Okay, our next block is this capital T block. And I've already got my fabrics cut. So I've got A, which is going to be part of this outer block here, and it's going to go with this C block to make it. And then we've got B, which is the base of all of these flying geese down here. So B is going to be paired with E and F to make these flying geese. And then D is the center of the block right there. So the first thing we're going to do is we will put these corners together. Okay, to get ready to sew all these pieces together, we need to take our A piece and we are going to mark it diagonally. And I'm going to show you how I do these 2 pieces. I've already done these 2 pieces. And then to get ready for the flying geese, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to mark E and F diagonally. So I've already marked all of these diagonally. These 2 I've left, so just to show you on E, I'm going to mark these diagonally. And on E, it doesn't matter which way you do the diagonal. But on F, I want to show you, on the Moda site, they said to do it a little differently. So what I've done is I've marked the diagonal where the candy corn is up and down, and then I've marked the diagonal where the candy corn is left and right. So for half of them I've done that. So I've got 4 left, and 2 of them I'm going to take and I'm going to put the candy corn up and down, and I'm going to mark those on the diagonal. And what that does, it'll give you 2, it'll make half of your candy corns going one way and the other half going the other way. So there's the 2 where I've marked with the candy corn going up and down, which goes in that pile. And so these I will lay where the candy corn's going left and right, and then mark on the diagonal. So that gets all our pieces marked up and we're ready to go. So what we want to do first is take our C fabric, and I'm going to lay it face up, and then I'm going to put the A fabric on top of it and grab a clip and clip it. And what we're going to do is sew 1/4 of an inch on each side of this line, and then cut the line, and then we'll end up with 2 pieces that look like that. So when you're at your machine, remember, don't sew on the line, sew 1/4 of an inch on each side of the line. And if you have a 1/4 inch foot, you can just lay the 1/4 inch right on the line, and you'll get a nice 1/4 inch seam off to the side. So we're going to do that for all of these A and C pieces. So again, take these over to your machine. So 1/4 inch on either side of this line that you drew. Do not sew on the line. Okay, got all these sewn. And now we need to trim them up. And we're going to trim them right on the line that we drew. And now we are going to iron all of these towards the orange or the dark. Whoops. Okay, keep these in place. So this is how you're going to want to iron them. Set that seam, and then just iron it over towards that orange piece. Okay, I finished my corner patches here, and I got them trimmed up to size. And now I'm going to start on the flying geese. And so these are the center pieces. I'm just going to set those aside for now. So what we need is, I'll take a large one. We need to take one of E and one of B. Lay it down so the diagonal is going up to the middle of the block, and pin it, and then we will sew on that diagonal. And we're going to do that for 4 of these. So there's 4 of that color. We want to do the same thing over here with the candy corn. But what we want to do is take 2 of the ones that are facing up and down, and we want to lay that diagonal. So if lands in the middle of the block. We're going to do that for 2 of those. And then we are going to take 2 of the other diagonals that we did and put those on the last 2 rectangles of B. So let me get this done. I'll kind of show you what's going on here with these candy corn. So when you fold it over, these candy corns will be going this way. And these 2, when you fold it over, will be going up and down. So that's how you do those. And then the leftovers here, and you don't want to get these mixed up, you want to match them with the right ones over here, are going to be the other side of the flying geese. So I'm going to do the same thing with these. I'm going to match them up over here. I'm going to go over, I'm going to sew them all on my diagonal line. And then I'll bring them back to the board. Okay, I got all my flying geese sewn together, and next what we need to do is place our 1/4 inch on the seam here and then just trim that off. I'm going to have to do that to all of these. Okay, I've got all my flying geese sewn, and what we're going to do, set that seam and push that piece up and iron it back. And then when we're done with the ironing here, we're just going to take the matching piece and put it on the other side, sew it, trim it, and iron it. So the other side of the flying geese is exactly the same. Put it together, diagonal in the middle, and you're overlapping the gray that you've already sewn. And then for the candy corn, you want to just make sure you've got the right ones so you can kind of fold it back and see that they're going in the same direction. So just make sure you have the right candy corns together on these. So that's how you do the candy corn, and I'm going to get these sewn on. I'm going to get them trimmed 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to get them ironed toward the dark side. Okay, I got my flying geese done. Did them exactly how, the same way I did them in the beginning. Got them all ironed out. I got my pieces ready to put together. So let's get to assembling this block. I'll put these together by size, or not size, by piece. And we get my easel out. And let's start with the big block. So there's our center. Then we want our dark flying geese around the edge like this. And I want these candy corns to be going this way. So they're all going the same way. Now I need the other flying geese. So the other flying geese go like this. And then our corner blocks. Like that. That's a cool looking block. Got another 9 patch here. So what we want to do with this is sew all these flying geese together first. Get them ironed out, which they will be ironed towards the dark piece. They'll be ironed down. And then we can start putting together our rows. Cool. Okay, I'm going to go over to my sewing machine, press these down, and I'm going to get all my flying geese sewn together right here on these seams and get them ironed towards the candy corn flying geese. Okay, here's my flying geese put together and ironed towards the black candy corn fabric. So let's bring back our board. Should have had it ready. Okay. And let's put our pieces back in here. And now we want to sew all the blocks together in each row. And just like we do most times with a 9 patch, we sew them together and then we iron the top and bottom rows to the outer blocks, and then the inner or the center row we iron towards the center block. So we can start putting all of these together. And then we can get it all sewn and then get it ironed out. So I'm going to get my blocks put together and get them sewn together. Okay, I got all my pieces put together, and basically you're going to be ironing towards the gingham on all these pieces. So, got to figure out where they go back. So now we just need to add this last piece to all these rows here, and again iron towards the gingham pattern. Okay, it's now time to assemble the rows. So let's get our blocks laid back out. So since we ironed the top and bottom rows towards the outside and the center row towards the inside, our rows will nest together. So that's when you just take these two seams and you butt them up against each other. You can feel that they go flat, and we'll pin them right there. And then if you need to pin it anymore, you can. But we're going to sew right along here, and we are going to be ironing towards the center row with this seam. So I'm going to get these sewn. I'm going to get them ironed towards the center row, and then I'm going to come back and put the bottom row on, sew it, and iron that towards the center row, and then my blocks will be done. There you go, my capital T blocks done for the Halloween Midnight Moon 2 Midnight Moon? Yeah, Midnight Moon quilt along. This is capital T. This wasn't too bad. This one turned out, looks like it's a little wonky, but it's the right size. But I like it. It's really cool. Never done a block like this, and it's always fun to do something new. Well, what'd you think? What'd you think of putting these blocks together? They're pretty cool. They're very enjoyable blocks to put together. These are especially on the bias right here, so I'm going to put these away and try not to touch them until I get ready to start putting the quilt together, because I don't want them to get stretched or wonky or anything like that. So let me show you what I do. I'm keeping all my blocks together in a Ziploc bag like this that I found on Amazon, so I can just keep them in there and they'll stay flat and they'll stay protected also. So that's how I'm going to be keeping my blocks together until we get to the end of this. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you're following along on this quilt along, let me know, or send me pictures on my Facebook page at canaryquilts.com. I'd love to see how yours are looking too. There's also a hashtag, Midnight Moon QAL is the hashtag, so you can see what other people are doing also. And some people aren't doing these colors, so it's pretty cool to see. So thank you very much for watching this video.